So today we're going to do a quick reminder of what signposts are when we're reading. It's a reading strategy and it helps you to develop analytical thinking in a way that is deeper and make sure that you are working on the reasoning level and not just at the surface level with talking about what happens. Signposts really get you to think about why something happens or the impact of that event on a character or the story. So the first one that we have is, I think, actually the most challenging. It's called Contrasts and Contradictions. And here you're looking for a difference in what you think the character will do and what the character actually did. And I'm also going to put in, you're also looking for a difference between something the character expects will happen and what actually happens. So the character is surprised. So, or a difference between something that you felt might happen and what actually happened. Okay, so you want to record, I'm just going to put this in red, so this is more information about it right here. So here you're going to record the actual quote of this that you found and the speaker, and if you're working with Black Ice or Always Running, most likely the speaker will be Loren Carey for Black Ice or Luis Rodriguez for Always Running. And then you want to ask yourself as part of your analysis, why might the character act or feel this way? Now, if you want to push your analysis forward and deeper, and especially if you're in honors class for 6th period, you not only want to answer this question, but you want to go deeper with what is the impact about acting or feeling this way on other characters, on the character, him or herself. How does this change the overall story? So it doesn't have to be these exact 2 questions, but these are questions that I would use to ask myself to extend my my reasoning. I always do like to ask that impact question. What is the impact of this on not only the character, the speaker, but other characters? Let's go to aha moment to figure this out. This is really a moment when the character is recognizes something that he or she didn't see before. It's that moment where you're like, I get it now. A moment the character sees something for what it is, the truth. And that could be for good or bad, right? And then this is the quote, and then the speaker again, and then the guiding question that everyone must answer is, how might this change things? How might this aha moment change things? And again, if you're going to go deeper, I would say, what is the impact? Again, I would use these same questions. You don't have to. These are great guiding questions for reasoning, and I'm just going to make that note. And one thing, if you notice the pattern in how I constructed these questions, they are probing questions. But again, what is the impact on the character or other characters is a great way to extend analysis. So for tough questions, these are questions the character asks him or herself, and the questions other characters ask the speaker. So you're really thinking about, these are questions that kind of these questions make the character pause. They are hard. Answer, etc. And again, you're writing the exact quote that you found that shows a tough question, just one example, and the speaker and the page number. And then the guiding question that everyone must answer is, why does this question make me wonder or realize, or what does this question make me wonder or realize about the character or situation? So, these are always moments that are truth moments for the character when they come up against a tough question. Does that character answer? Does that person answer the question? Does that person take action in response to the question? Does it change that character? Again, if I'm in honors class, or if I really want to push my reasoning further to build our brain a little bit more, I'm gonna answer these guiding questions. So what is the impact of these tough questions, and how do these tough questions change the story? Words to the wiser is interesting. It's advice given by someone to the character. Now, it doesn't have to be someone older. It can be anyone. Usually words of the wiser are someone older or more wise, right? Gives the character advice, but it is advice. And then the quote and the page number and the speaker. And then what is the life lesson, or how might this affect the character? You could flip it and also say advice, the character or the speaker, right? Lorraine or Louise gives to someone else. Depending on the book you're reading. Okay. And again, to extend that analysis, you're going to think about what is the impact. You're going to go back to the impact and the change questions to extend that reasoning. Again and again are just moments that are repeated. I'm going to put more than moments. It's images, themes, universal ideas, words, actions that are repeated. I'm going to extend that even more. Symbols, metaphors, etc., that are repeated more than once. There's always a reason, right? Authors are always doing something for a specific reason. Each word counts. We learned that with Fences and August Wilson's Choices. There was nothing that was in there that didn't matter. The same thing in both Always Running and Black Ice. There's always something in here that is that has a purpose in these books. Even when their sentences are quite wordy, there's always a reason for that. And especially with Luis Rodriguez's book, the way he writes is extremely poetic, and we'll talk more about that language. But a lot of adjectives, a lot of imagery, and you could think about what is repeated from there. So memory moment are Troy in Fences had this moment a lot, especially in the middle towards the end of the play, where he begins to remember about his father. So this is when the character remembers something from the past. I'm going to tell you, just like with Troy and Fences, memory moments are really what these two books are made of. These are both memoirs, right? And a memoir is digging into the past and writing about it and finding truth and knowledge in the past. So think about how powerful that is. Memory moments, you can have hundreds of them between just the first two chapters in both books. But I'm only asking you to find one. So these are very powerful. And then again, why might this memory be important? And to push yourself in your thinking, I would go with the impact and the change questions as well on this, especially if you are in honors, that is the expectation. So again, I think the hardest one in here would be contrasts and contradictions. Let's say you can't locate that in the first two chapters. That's fine, not a problem. Just aim for six quotes to analyze throughout as many signposts as you can. You know, you might find three memory moments and three again and agains, and you have your six. And that's okay. I just want you to try to push yourself to come up with one. I think in these memoirs, you're going to have a lot of tough questions. You're going to have a lot of again and again and memory moments and possibly some aha moments. So that is what signposting is all about. It is a great way. It's just simply a reading strategy to help make sure our reading is at a deeper level than just at the surface, just at the plot summary. So proud of all of your work. Keep up the good work, and feel free to text or call, or we can do a Zoom conference.